The majority of people are retiring way too late in life. It's not my problem. I retired young overseas, but I want to go over some numbers with you about retirement ages and why this is a big problem and what are some possible solutions. So in the US, the median is 62 years old. Now, some people are able to retire at a younger age. Well, how small is that number? 11% are able to retire in their mid to late 50s. The problem with that is a lot of people will not have the vigor they had when they were younger. They're not going to feel like traveling, adopt new hobbies that they enjoy at that age. It's going to be very difficult, and they're going to start having a lot of chronic medical problems and physical ailments that kind of impede their progress in that way and getting involved in things that they enjoy and that they want to do, these different hobbies. Now, the EU isn't much better. The average retirement age is in the mid 60s, but that is trending higher. So by the year, say 2030 or 2035, it'll probably be a couple years higher than what it is now. The average retirement age for Canadians is 64 and a half years. These are retirement ages, even though people are implored to save and invest, whether it be from their parents or their teacher or their employer or their rich uncle. But yet, people are working themselves to death and working very late in life, and they're not getting their personal freedom, the freedom that they dream about. Well, why is that? Like, what's going on here? Because many people are, they save from, let's say, age 22, and they're putting money away and they're investing, but yet they're still working until they're so old that they can't really travel and enjoy life. They can't really enjoy their retirement, or their retirement is cut short because of terminal illness. So what's going on here? A lot of the time, people, they don't even know what's in their retirement accounts. They don't even know what they're invested in. If they had to spend 2 minutes talking about their investments, I bet they couldn't talk about it for 2 minutes. They have no idea. And they go into things that, they make a modest return, but they're not really beating monetary debasement. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know what monetary debasement is. They know what inflation is. They'll say, well, you get, about 10% return after inflation. But monetary debasement is much higher than inflation. And it's the devaluation of currency. And this is why people aren't getting ahead. They're invested in things that requires no education. And it's not really getting them ahead. They think they're getting ahead because they hear that, 10% return, 11% return, whatever it is. And they think, oh, I'm getting ahead. And they're not really. And that's why they're retiring when they're 65 or later. Really, what's going on is, people are going into broad market indexes, and it requires no education. They really don't know how to pick stocks. They don't know how to pick investments. They're given misinformation, which turns into fear, and they avoid the things that actually help them get ahead. But if people would actually learn how to invest, how to pick, individual stocks or, some form of cryptocurrency, and not the garbage meme coins. I'm talking about cryptocurrency that actually can gain value over time. And if people would teach themselves how to pick these assets, and it's funny because their whole lives, they go after an education, they learn a career, a profession, a trade, but they never teach themselves about investments. And it's funny because like that's kind of backwards, isn't it? And they just go into something that's not really getting ahead because of the monetary debasement. And so really what people need to be doing is really twofold: teaching themselves how to invest these different types of assets and being more aggressive than just buying, the S&P or VTI or something like that, because they're not really getting ahead. Quite a few investors have actually figured this out. They realize that. They're like halfway through their working careers, they're like, oh man, my situation isn't really better than it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Because, inflation has just made it so much more difficult, to get ahead. And so if people would teach themselves how to pick stocks, individual stocks, invest in Bitcoin or leveraged products that pay you, all of these things can help people actually make a difference and get ahead. But yet that's not the norm, is it? And if you follow the crowd, you're going to get the crowd's results. Like, nothing's going to change for you. You have to change something. That's kind of what I believe in, is teaching yourself how to invest, how to actually get ahead and not just tread water, and how to get your freedom, how to buy your freedom. You're not going to feel like traveling when you're 65. I'm sorry, you're not going to want to do it. I'm over a decade younger than that, and already, like, I get tired most days. But at the same time, I'm young enough, and I've been fortunate enough to have, enough health and energy to enjoy traveling. In fact, I'm hopping on a plane in a few days. But try this at 65? No way. It's too late. You got to take action. If you don't take action, you're going to go the way that most people go. And in my opinion, it's failure. It's a failure. And this is ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening. If you save and invest your whole life, you should be able to get ahead, and you should be able to get your freedom. And if you can't do that, there is something really, really wrong with the system.